This is awkward. You're expecting a bard, or at the very least a storyteller of merit. Instead, you get a thief. If it's any consolation, I am a damned good thief. Or I was. But you see, I have made a mistake. I have stolen something that needs tending. I have stolen something that, without my intervention, will surely die. I've stolen a story. My name is Vanda, and for the very first time in my life, I mean to tell the truth. The truth of the five. Don't expect flowery language or poignant metaphor. I am not some god's damned bard. But in a realm forgotten, you will remember them. You will remember the five.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Well, hello, everybody! And forget everything that I just said because you didn't hear it. But this is Monday evening here on Tales from the Grim, and we are going to do a little bit of the Realms Remembered, which is our combination of D&D 5e, Boz Lorman, and fantastic roleplay by the players you will soon meet. Also, if you've been here before, you know the drill. If you haven't, here is the drill. The more that you retweet our going live tweet, the more that you can directly influence, help, and aid the party that you are about to meet. And here is our little gift to them tonight. At 20 retweets, a random player will be gifted a natural 20. At 30, another player will be given a natural 20. At 40, another player will be given a natural 20. And at 50, they all will be given a natural 20. Now, that usually, in a social situation, might be nice. It might help. A couple skill checks here and there. Tonight, we are starting with a stampede of Chupacabra. So these natural 20s will help quite a bit. Legion, it is up to you. Retweet that we have gone live and aid the party that you are about to meet. But we know why we're here. Play some D&D. How are we here? We have fantastic sponsors. We have Roll20, everybody, our virtual tabletop of choice. If you would like to go right now to www.roll20.net, sign up for a free account. You can upload your own icons, your own maps, gather your own group from across the globe into a virtual tabletop, live your own adventures, create your own fantasy, remember your own realms. It is a perfect and wonderful time to do so, everybody, and make sure you do so at the Realms, at Roll20/Realms Remembered. But if you're sitting around a physical table and you'd like to roll some of these fun dice, go visit our other sponsors over at Die Hard Dice. They have a huge selection. Take your time, pick out the ones that best fit the character or game that you are playing, put them into your shopping cart, and then right before you're ready to check out, type in coupon code THEGRIM and get 15% off your order. So, we know how we can help them with retweets. Down below, there are additional ways to help, hinder, aid, or not aid. I suggest we aid them tonight. They are a good group. They are fantastic people. Their characters are fun. And it's time that we put them through their paces as they are now 4th level, which of course we know is a good time to, test the characters out. Put them through an endurance check. See if they can hold up to the rigors of adventuring. And we will do that tonight. To set the stage just a bit, our group has just left the town known as The Bend. They are in search of a monk, the de facto leader of that town named Ironbender Oron. They have followed him into the wilderness, and at the first night of camp, they were approached and camped, or conscripted, you should say, for their camp space by the royal party from Cormyr. And they talked. A couple of them recognized. Things were learned, especially about Prince Bowden, who appeared to be, at the very least, affected by this astronomancy that they had experienced a few times before. But that was then, this is now. My role in this is done. It's time for my players to take up the mantle of telling the tale. Allow me to sit down in the front row with the rest of you, and let's see exactly what they have in store. Let's bring them back in, everybody. Hey, here they all are, everyone. Our players are ready to play. I am ready to watch and listen to a tale. The Legion is set. Make sure you hit that retweet button of our going live. Help them as best as you can. My friends, we are currently sitting amidst a cacophony of hundreds, if not thousands, of stampeding chupacabra. To give you an overhead bird's eye drone or dragon view of what's going on, the chupacabra have split into 2 almost identical groups, and they are moving like the rotors of a boat or a plane or a helicopter. They are swinging almost exactly, so they run over a space, there's a brief pause, and then the second group will run over the same space, there's a brief pause, and the next group, and so on, and so on. You witness the fall of your companion, James, as he was born under all of these fleshy monstrosities, these wiry chupacabra that are more angles and claw and teeth than they are flesh. They are whirling dervishes of death, and they are descending in mass upon your group. Screams are going up everywhere. With your perception checks last time, you did see James get born under, and you also saw Jessup get born under. But the very first thing I'm going to ask everyone to do, which is something we didn't do last time, is roll me some initiative, please. Alrighty. What's that lovely... How's that break down, everyone?
Well, I'm last. Except for you, maybe.
First.
Bianca?
Well, I rolled a 1.
Bianca, Ulfsic. Oh, no, wait. Bianca, then... Oh, yeah. Well, no, he rolled twice.
Yeah, but...
I have advantage.
But still twice. Whatever. Still.
Oh, it is
same
advantage, yeah.
It's 20.
Oh, gotcha.
Cool.
And then Dawn...
Yukon.
Then James, then Roberts.
And Roberts.
Okay, so just as this has occurred, and just as we have seen this first kind of wave go over, the second wave hits as James is once again kind of pushed beneath this wave of flesh as it comes and hits him, carries across him, drives him deeper into the dirt. But Bianca, I will let you know that you see a couple things as you are the first to act, and as you spin and the entire area is kind of laid out before you. You see Bowden standing there, and just past him you see Margaret get born under, by these things as they grab hold and pull her down. And as she's reaching, Bowden is kind of wading through them as they jump and lash and draw lines of blood across his face. And he's almost swimming, similar to somebody that's like wading through a swamp trying to get to her. And then from off to the right, you hear, "Flower, get behind me!" And you turn and you see Cal Finnegan pull out his crossbow. One bolt goes flying into the sky as he gets borne under by the Chupacabra. You witness the fall of those two.
Great. We're in a forest, right?
You are in the clearing. There is a forest close to you, about 30 to 40 yards beyond where the Royals made their camp.
Oh, are there... Did they come just on horseback, or do they have, like, caravans?
You would think that probably their main column does, but those 30 folks have gone beyond your point. They do have one wagon left, and that's the quartermaster wagon where you all kind of got your gear from.
Uh-huh. I just want to get some elevation, first of all, to be above this fun wave.
Sure.
Yeah.
Roll me, as from where you are right now, I will give you athletics or acrobatics if you want to try to get through them.
Cool.
You're going to act,
Yes.
There's a break. You're in the break of the rotor right now. You saw James go down, but you have a chance here to do something before.
Uh-huh. Am I going to pass James on my way?
James is currently, you're going in a direction that hasn't yet been overrun. James is down again beneath them.
There are too many priests in this party. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to move to get some elevation so I can move from there. I will use an advantage on this acrobatics check. Here we go. Cool. 8.
You don't get, it's almost as if, I'll give you this. You're about 3/4 of the way to the wagon when you realize you're not going to make it.
Okay.
They're going to overtake the position before you can make it to the wagon. I will allow you to continue, and take the wagon, but there may or may not be some damage involved. There'll definitely be a saving throw.
Okay. Is anybody near me at this point in the direction I'm moving?
I believe that Ulfsick and Roberts were using at least a portion of the wagon as cover.
We were.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're like right here.
Okay, yeah, I'll just keep moving toward them then.
Okay. Ulfsick, you see Bianca as she's beginning to make her way directly towards you, but you can feel a second wave almost as the rock of the wagon as it's getting hit behind you. You also see the fall of Cal Finnegan, and you see the fall of Margaret, the princess. But where Jessup had fallen before, you see a gauntleted arm smash up among this pink and light oranges of the flesh as he pulls himself back up, the one large pauldron on the side that has the arc deflecting against the side that he wears his eye patch, and you see claws kind of renting, but the old man stands.
Okay. And how far away is James from this position? If I was able to see him when he got knocked over?
James is about 30 feet. He was getting his horse ready.
And in how close were the two royalty people?
They were also about 30 feet, but in the other direction.
All right, and so between me and James, between Ulfie and James, there's a sea of chalupas. Okay, so I'm going to turn to Roberts. How does, at this point in time, being inundated with these things, how is the wagon physically looking? Are they plowing through the wagon? Are they climbing over the wagon?
The first wave through, they kind of leapt and jumped over the wagon. You can feel it rocking as if bodies are hitting the opposite side. It's not a big wagon. Imagine it to be just a little bit larger than a stagecoach with about the same suspension. So as things hit on the side, you and Roberts are kind of riding the backside with each apparent thud of a body against the far side. Your side looks fine. There's no damage here, but you don't know what the hell's happening on the blind side.
Okay. He looks to Roberts. I'm going to go get James. I think we should try to put everybody in the wagon and try to push it away. Provide at least some cover. What do you think?
I think it could work, but we would have to get around to the other side to push it. I mean, I guess we could try and pull.
Or push it backwards. It doesn't matter which way we go.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter, no. Okay. Do you need me to cover you?
There's a lot of people. We can't save them all. Make your choice and throw them in the wagon.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go in James's direction with 2 brand new shiny long swords unfurled and try to carve a direction to James.
Okay, so what we're going to do is you'll roll as soon as you hit the body. So whenever you're armed and you're walking out, whenever the wave hits you, that's when we'll kind of resolve this action. Lauren, I forgot. Is there anything else you would like to do? I know that you made your movement, but is there a bonus or a...
I'm going to hold a spell.
Okay. Yuknon, you see all this go down. Ulfsic takes off in the direction of where James went under. What would you like to do?
How far away is Yuknon from James and from the princess?
We'll say you're all within one movement of everybody, but it's at the upper end of the movement because the narrative dictated you were all getting your horses ready. So you were probably, we're going to say that you were also 30 feet from both James and 30 feet from Margaret and Bowden. Almost like a if it's a diamond, you're at one point, Ulfsic's at the other, and then James and everyone else. Equidistant.
Yeah, so as the swarm of Chupacabra were rushing in, Yuknon's pulled out his round shield and he has a silvered long sword in his other hand, and he sort of raises that round shield up and he charges, using his movement. He's going to charge towards the princess and the prince, where they've been sort of overwhelmed, and try to batter his way towards them through the Chupacabra. Does that take his entire turn? Does he still have an action?
What we'll do is, if that's your intention, is to wade through the wave, we'll resolve all of the engagements with the Chupacabra whenever their wave hits. So we're going to say your direction is you are going towards them. They are born under. James is born under. You and Ulfsic are making moves for them. So whenever the Chupacabra kind of hit and you hit them, we'll resolve all that action together.
Okay.
James, your entire world is claws and feet and snapping bites as these creatures come through. I need you to take an additional 1 point of damage as you're kind of rolling with your shield and a line of blood is drawn from your nostril down across. What would you like to do, bud?
I would like to cast Word of Radiance, but it's not in Roll20.
Okay, well, what's the spell do then?
You utter a divine word and burning radiance erupts from you. Each creature of your choice that you can see within range must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 radiant damage. And I'm not level 5, so it's only 1d6.
Okay.
So I guess anything that would be on me, he just explodes in light.
Okay.
And he's going to try to get up. If I can cast a spell and then try to stand.
What's your DC?
My DC is 2.
It's. I hope it's not. Staffin.
DC's 14.
Okay.
14.
So,
sorry.
yeah.
14, yes.
With a +1 to that was a 15. So they just make their save. Did they take half damage on a save or no damage?
It doesn't say half damage.
So it should be no. Okay. So what you're going to do is as you fire it off, you see the radiance. It's immediately lost to you. Even as you utter the divine word and finish the prayer, it's the light is swallowed. Ogma's light is taken from you as soon as it is emitted. You don't know. You're sure you hit something, but the effect for you is nil. I will allow you at this point to attempt to stand, much like Jessup did. all I would need from you here is a strength save.
And I'm going to use an advantage on this one. So
Okay.
15.
With a 15 being the DC, you pull yourself up as you punch up through this wave, and you see these creatures everywhere. Ulfsick, as you are running towards him, you see James throw.
Just kind of.
Yeah,
use a shield to knock him off of him.
He's still in a wave of these things. Like, he's the slow guy at Pamplona, but he's up and he's standing. Anything else you can do, James? I know you cast.
He screams to Ulfix. Does he have like a rope? You know what I mean? Ulfix, do you have a rope?
You're both going to be in this in a second, so rope's not going to, unless you, I mean, you can absolutely scream it, but.
That's what he would probably say, but yeah, he doesn't want him to get too far in, though. He doesn't want him to get caught. You know, don't go, you know what I mean? He's trying to, like, keep Ulfsick, like, where he's at, not to move into him. So he doesn't want to see him go under.
Okay, so as that gets yelled out over the might, we'll go to Roberts. Roberts, as you are up against the quartermaster's wagon, and you can feel it rocking against you, Ulfsick takes off. You see Yuknon beginning to move. As all of these things are beginning to transpire, you do see that Sir Jessup and Chirp are fighting back to back in the middle of all of this. And you see the old man is swinging a great sword with very little control. But in this type of environment, that's not a bad thing, as it's target rich. And he's just loping with these swings, and Chirp is kind of fencing and dancing behind him, but they're back to back, and they're pretty obviously outnumbered, but pretty overwhelmed as well. What would you like to do, Roberts?
And at this point, Bianca has come up, like, close enough that I can talk to her.
Yeah,
or can say something. Okay.
Bianca has made it. She's not close enough to touch. We'll resolve Bianca, Ulfsick, and Yuknon in a moment, but you can definitely say something to her. Yeah.
Yeah. She looks over at Bianca and just quickly says, "We're going to try and get as many people as we can onto the cart if you can just clear the path back." Having seen Bianca clear paths before. And I think she is also going to head towards the prince and the princess. And she turns back and looks at Bianca, like, dead in the eyes, and she says, "Don't be afraid to hit me." And then turns back and heads back towards the prince and princess.
I'm never afraid to hit him.
Well, just in case. But yeah, so I'm going to also head, because I figure we've got one-on-one, we've got Ulfsick helping James, we've got Chirp and Jessup back to back. I totally have faith in Chirp, but there's two people, Bowden and Margaret, and Yukon's heading over there and might need help. So I'm going to go help him.
Okay. So we get down to the bottom of the turn, or the top of the next turn. I would like to have strength saving throws from Roberts, Bianca, Yuknon, and Ulfsick, please.
Yeah.
Advantage.
And I'm going to use
I'm
my
just
advantage
gonna-
as well.
advantage.
I'm just going to do it. Famous last
You all
words.
got an advantage in from...
Bianca.
You
Bianca's on a cart, though, to be fair.
Okay, you all...
Ooh, a hachi-machi.
Okay, so who had less than 15?
Me?
I see that.
Mm.
Billy, did you roll with advantage?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take that away. Everybody, as you are running towards your various directions, as you've split away from the cart, Bianca, it is then that a flood comes over the cart that you are running to, and you are borne beneath them as they hit you. Anyone that remains standing, which is James, Roberts, Yuknon, and Ulfsick, you take 2 points of damage. Bianca, as they take you under, you take 2 points as well. So you get knocked down, but you are currently prone beneath them. As again, much like James, you see just feet and claws and just a maelstrom of fleshy death. But we are back up at the top, and the reaction to that movement, or the resolution of the movement, is Roberts and Yuknon, you get to Bowden as he's standing there reaching and fighting for Margaret. Ulfsick, you get to James, and you and James are now together in this wash. And for a moment, the wash recedes, and everyone can see everyone, and there is a crumpled form standing in front of a moving sheep as the crowd of chupacabras goes out, and you see several downed guards as well in this kind of brief eye of the storm moment. But we're back at the top, Bianca. You can get up, but it'll be half your movement.
Oh, cool. I thought I was gonna have to yell at them. Great. Yeah, I stand. I'm going to... Are they still kind of going over the cart, or have they finished their business?
This is the moment in between where one kind of wave has passed and the second wave is charging in. You can feel the rumble constantly. You see like the chupacabras running away, but then can feel them kind of coming behind you as well.
Are they like in a
Spiral?
Does this seem like a pattern?
Yeah. They're passing like this. And they're doing it over and over.
That doesn't seem natural, does it?
What are you talking about? That's totally normal.
That's
They
totally
do
a
this
normal
all
thing.
the time.
I read it in a
Okay.
book, so I figured that's how the chupacabra act. So
It is.
Right. Okay.
Accurate.
Shush. So I'm in terms of movement, I'm not necessarily. Oh, screw it, dude! Just beat me up again. I'm going to hopefully be standing by to do what Roberts wants in that direction. Are the chupacabra leaving Cal alone now that he's down, or what?
the only reason that you can see him right now is because that wave is past. You can, you're not close enough to see the damage that wave did to him, but Cal's just in the dirt and he's not moving.
Okay.
Flower
How big
is
is
moving.
Flower compared to the chupacabras? Just for fun.
Flower is just about 75% the same size of a chupacabra, but the chupacabra probably weighs less. It's all kind of bony and sticky and very angular. But like footprint wise, it's probably about the same as Flower. Flower seems to be moving though.
Yeah. Okay. James. Okay. I will take a page out of James's book, but instead of shouting heal, I just start going, Cal! Cal! Wake the fuck up! Please? And he's gonna get up. He's gonna get up with 6 hit points.
You see the little like hood that is like the sheep's ears begin to move, and Cal looks up, half of his face covered in dust that's matted against some type of head wound, and he looks around. What's going on? And
Get on Flower! Ride this way!
he's completely dazed, but he begins to move and reaches like kind of weakly up for Flower.
Great. Good. I feel confident in that. And then I am going to hold my position so that I can start thunder waving as much as I want later.
Okay, so you're gonna hold for a thunder wave.
Yeah, I'm going to like step out of the way. If I'm seeing this pattern, I'm going to try to. They're doing like this. Is there like an eye?
Yeah,
Is there an eye of the storm?
There is no eye, but there is this pause between, as it kind of loops around. But it's almost like a big line though that's moving in like a helicopter blade. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to kind of get into the rhythm of that so I don't get knocked over again as much as I can.
I will allow you to get into the quartermaster wagon if you would like.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, you're laying on armor and shit, but I mean,
That's fine.
it's not comfy. Okay, Ulfsick, you have made it to James. You have a pause and a break in all of this. You can see that there is absolute mass chaos as the camp has been blasted. Many horses are down. All of your horses, because of the proximity away from the royal group, seem to have like at least run off or run out of the kill zone. You see that Jessup and Chirp's horses are still close to them, being trained horses. These people were down. The NPCs that you know are down. James is up, but you can see them coming again.
He's going to look at James. We need to get everyone into the wagon.
I agree 100%. Do we have rope?
And
do we have rope to where we can, like, if we get to the wagon, we can, like, cast it out for people to pull them in?
If you,
I'm sure
it's all six turn. I don't know why I'm
something.
talking. I don't know why I'm talking on your turn, buddy.
Hey, any information is good information. And I'm going to Jessup and Chirp are up.
they are currently up fighting back to back. Jessup seems a little worse for wear, but Chirp seems to be holding her own.
Hey, you two, get to the wagon now! He's going to point at them and then motion them into the wagon.
Roll me a persuasion or intimidation.
Okay, let's see which one is. Oh, they're both. Let's do persuasion because I want to be kind. Crit, oh, motherfucker!
Yeah, buddy. And as you say that, in a delivery that is not unlike a knight, Jessup and Chirp begin to kind of pull their horses towards the quartermaster's cart. So they begin to move.
Faster! We can combat this better together. And then I'm going to grab James and move him with me towards the wagon, if he will let me grab him. If he won't, then that's a roll, I'm sure.
Like, definitely let him. He's helping me. He's there to help me. I'm going to help him too, in turn.
Okay, we can say then, because even though you're helping somebody move, it's off action, but it's going to take half your movement basically, but you all are able to get halfway towards the wagon. You're basically walking almost with Jessup and Chirp too.
Okay. Can I guidance him?
It's not your turn! It's not your turn. Okay, before we go any further, we have had 20 retweets, and so you are all the following number. Lauren, you're 1, Billy, you're 2, Summer, you're 3, Steve, you're 4, Dawn, you are 5. Billy, you have a natural 20 to use to follow up the natural 20 you just rolled. So put that in your memory banks. Cool. Thanks to Legion.
I'm sure I'll save it forever.
And also, I didn't mention it on stream, but Sphinx sent in plot armor and advantages for all the players. Huge right now. Plot armor gives 2 times level, so that is 8 hit points for everybody as they are in the middle of this wave rotor of death. So, yes, as everybody moves towards Yuknon, you have made the prince and princess. Margaret is down, and Bowden is attempting to get her up.
Yeah, so I imagine Yuknon, as he's running, he's like bouncing foot to foot, jumping over bodies that have fallen. And as he's approaching, he'll roll in kind of over top of the both of them and come up on the other side with his shield up in one hand. He'll just sort of glance over his shoulder at the princess. Does she look okay?
She has definitely taken some damage, but she is pushing herself up. She's not waving off Bowden, but you can tell that she's not allowing him to pull her up. She's getting herself up. So she's not wounded to the point where she's being like assisted to rise. She is rising herself, and she is wearing armor. She and Bowden are both wearing riding armor.
So there's a moment where his eyes are flickering just a little bit between the two of them very quickly, and he's still staying down on one knee. He runs his longsword across his hand, so there's just a little bit of blood in his palm, and he touches it to his amulet, and he says, "Princess, stay behind me." And then he'll thrust his sword down into the dirt and draw out his whistle that he has, and he's going to place it in his mouth, and I want to hold my action so that he blows that whistle right when the next wave is crashing towards them.
Okay. And I will tell you this, as you tell the princess, move back, you see her pull, you know that she had a larger weapon, but she must have lost it in the scuffle. She pulls a long blade. It's a bit longer than a dagger, almost short sword in length. But as she pulls it out, you see her reach back and lift up her ponytail, and she draws a line of blood just beneath it, and she stands at your side.
He doesn't let on that surprises him, but it does.
Bowden has pulled out his longsword, and he is kind of shouldering up behind as this is occurring. Roberts, you make it here as well. Let's resolve this action before the wave hits. James, we'll get to you in 1 second, but I want to see what Roberts does here.
I quit the game. What is happening? I'm so confused. Okay, anyway. Yeah, as soon as she sees that they're all to their feet and that Yuknon has like obviously helped up the princess, basically she gets up to them and she says, "We're all headed for the cart. Just stay behind me." And then she's going to turn and basically barricade. She's going to make a pathway for them, because she knows they don't know that Bianca's going to be thunder waving in their direction, but her intention is to essentially be a body shield for the prince and princess. I mean, she thinks that Yukon can handle himself, but you know. So she's going to start leading them back to the cart.
Roll me persuasion with advantage, please.
Oh my god. I shouldn't have to persuade for this shit.
But just so you know, Levi has given everybody advantages in addition to everybody else that's giving you advantages, so
here I go. 12.
You have
Wait,
inspiration.
I'm gonna use my inspiration. Oh, thank you. I remember. A whole 1 persuasion point for me. Thank you. That's 13, and that was the DC, and they're coming with me.
Okay, this is how it is going down. Princess Margaret does not seem to move. She seems affixed to the shoulder of Yuknon. However, as you turn and begin to make, as you described, make a tunnel as a body shield back towards the cart, you feel a hand on your shoulder as Bowden leans in close and takes your side, almost where you're defending in your regular grip. He's defending off to the side, but he's pulled himself close, right up against, right up to you, to kind of cut, as to join forces, if you will.
Sure thing. That doesn't make me tense or anything.
I knew it wouldn't, so
why would it?
Why would it, right? James, let's go back to you, buddy, as this movement is going, and we will resolve these actions when the Chupacabra waves hits. But what are you doing? You are with Ulfzik.
How far are we away from the wagon?
You are now 15 feet because he helped you get that far. If you want to help Ulfzik, you guys can get to the rest of the way to the wagon and Bianca.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, do I need to guidance us, or
no?
Can I cast Word of Radiance behind me? So if anything hits us as they're coming in, it won't knock us over till we get to the van, you know what I mean, or to the wagon.
I tell you what I will allow you to do. If you want to ready your action, like you are focusing at the top of the wagon, you can't see the next wave because the wagon's between you and them. As soon as they come across, I'll allow you to let go and fire.
That's what I'd like to do.
Okay.
But the most important thing is for me and him to get to the wagon so we can start maybe finding some rope to throw out to people to try to pull them in.
Gotcha.
Anything to help. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll say too, as you are all pulled in, you witness Jessup as he, with a spring in his step, and whether it be adrenaline or whatever it happens to be, he is able to pull himself up into the saddle of his war horse, and you hear him yell out, "Sharp, the saddle!" And she waits for just a second, and you see her look over towards Yuknon. And then she grabs her pommel and begins to pull herself up. But then the wave hits. We've got people with readied stuff. So I want Bianca, this is not your current action. This is the action that you had readied. What do you do? When they hit again, this wave, you feel the rock of the cart as it hits again. What do you do?
My goal is to make a path So I'm going to let go a thunder wave in probably the direction of Roberts, because if Roberts is in front of this group, then I don't think that it should go much past her based on where the cart is, but I'll move if I have to.
Oh no, she's not in the. You can angle this so you're not taking anybody out.
Cool.
What I'll do though is, are you going to? I'll make it help more if you're not in the cart.
Sure.
So what you're going to do is, as they're jumping over, you're going to put yourself in not direct line of fire, but you're definitely going to have to roll something. But you can get out in the middle of them and do some damage.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll that.
Let's do it.
What is the DC for you?
14. Gross. Oh, that's decent damage too. They'll take half.
Okay, so they take 5, but it doesn't have the driving distance effect to it, though.
Right.
I will say this, though. As you crack this thing off, you do see several of them kind of fly. As they're leaping over, they're carried by your wave way past where they would have landed. That's the bonus for getting out among them. I do need you to make a strength saving throw when the time comes at advantage. Okay, because you're still very close to the cart. Okay, James, you have a chance to fire those things off.
Can I pull Bianca in instead?
It's not your turn. This is the wave.
Okay.
You've
All right,
planned
yeah,
everything.
He's just gonna, okay. So he'll just he's in the direction of Yuknon, since she's got Roberts. Anything to clear the path for Yuknon, like anything that hits will run into that word of radiance. So he blasted out with a DC of 14.
Okay, so they make a 14, 13 plus 1. But again, much like what Bianca did, as you fire off, you hit something. There's just too many to miss. And you see them sizzle and crack, and a couple of them go flying back. But the bulk, the horde, isn't diverted. Much like a stampede of cattle that are coming through, you haven't driven them in a different direction. They're continuing their course that they've already committed to. Ulfsik, you have the opportunity to get in the cart, or you have the opportunity to stay and help people get into the cart. I will allow you at this point, since James took you the rest of the way in. Tell me where Ulfsik would be during all this. Still outside or in the cart?
He would hop up into the cart, but then start getting his rope out of his pack to try to throw to people to pull them into the cart.
Okay, absolutely. You can absolutely do that as you see Bianca and James kind of fire off spells left and right. The smell of sizzling, radiant, fried chupacabras and thunderwave stuff. You see the kind of the aftermath of their explosion, and as the chupacabra part for just a second, you see Roberts and Bowden coming, and beyond them, you see Yuknon and Margaret as they are standing kind of back to back. Yuknon, I need you to make a strength saving throw for me as the wave hits you again, as you all kind of get ready, but you have a held action. And what was that?
He's kind of landed on his knee, he's cut his hand, he's put the whistle in his mouth, and as that wave comes in, he very calmly rises to his feet and he just blows the whistle.
Nothing happens. I need you to make a strength saving throw. I need Bianca to make a strength saving throw with advantage. I need James to make a strength saving throw with advantage. And I need Roberts to make a strength saving throw.
Greg, I critted! I critted!
I saw it.
With a strong 19. That's a crit.
Okay.
16.
So everybody stands and stays up with the exception of Roberts. Roberts, you take the full you take the full brunt of the blast as these things are coming over the top of the carriage, and as they hit and lope towards you, the wave hits. You're able to get off a couple shots. You're hitting things. There's just so many. And as you are taken down, you see a longsword hit the dirt beside you in the middle of this maelstrom as Bowden swings around, his back getting hit as he lifts you back up, and he is face to face with you for a second.
Amazing. So I'm standing now?
You are. But Bowden is unarmed. And everybody, Hawk gave us advantages as well. The science
And
officer.
plot armor.
And plot armor came in?
Yep. Both.
Yay! Look at that. That's great. Thank you very much, Hawk. Plot armor and advantage alls for everyone.
My plot armor is popping, everybody. I will hand him my sword.
You take 4 damage, but you are not prone, Summer, as
Yeah,
this
fine.
all hits. Everybody that's standing takes an additional 2 damage as the creatures rush past you. Even if you survived or had your advantage, Billy takes 2 damage. Let's start to the top of the round again. Bianca, you see this, they are not stopping. And as each progression moves through, you see that there are more and more guards on the ground. And you also see that Cal and Flower are not there.
Are fine. Where are those? I can't see them?
The last wave pulled them from view.
Ugh. Y'all will be fine. I'm heading toward the last place I saw Cal.
Okay.
Is that currently blocked? Or
It's open. This is the moment where you have stampede, pause. Stampede, pause. This is a
Okay.
pause.
Yeah, I'm then running through to the last place I saw him.
Okay, I will say when you hit your 30 feet, you don't see him there, but there is a slow kind of like a dry riverbed, similar in makeup to the one that Roberts and Ulfsik sat at the evening before in our last session. Roll perception check for me.
I'm using
Also, we did hit 30 retweets.
Oh.
Perception. Where are you? There you are. Nat 20.
You see a little hood with a little sheep's ear that has been torn off, and it's right at the top of the rise. And you see a small hand reaching for it, but the hand is not moving.
Cool. I'll be dashing to that place then.
Okay. You get there and you see the cow is laying there. Flower is nowhere to be seen, but Cal is reaching for, and he does not seem to be breathing.
Cast a spell. Okay, we're doing it again, fam. Who's the cleric? I'm going to lift him up in my hands because he's very small, like cradling him, and kind of just lightly tap him. Cal, God damn it. Just wake up. Everybody pushing out 7 hit points. I'm a great healer. Maybe I'm the cleric.
I think you are.
You see
Title swap.
he starts to, you see as he breathes in, and his one whole side of his face is just blood, and he looks at you and he goes, "My angel."
Oh, gross. Cal, just hold on. I'm shielding him like he is a child, and just kind of bracing myself.
You have, as you described before, and I think I'm right, when you describe your garb, you have like straps that go to your dress. He reaches up and like loops his wrist through one, and you can feel all of his weight kind of on that as he's just very weakly keeping himself attached to you.
Oh, Cal, this is a new outfit. It's fine. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Ulfsik, you gotten your rope ready. You see that there are several people out, and because you are now closest to this, you see the following without need for a perception check or roll. Sir Jessup yells out, "There it is! I can see it! Jump!" And he rides past into the forest, and Chirp swings up into the saddle, looks at Jessup, looks back towards Yuknon, and wheels her horse towards Jessup and rides out of view.
Say what? What did you say?
You can peek.
Night.
You can peek over if you want.
Yeah, I'll take a little peeky peek.
Roll me a perception check.
23.
For a moment, just a moment, there's a swath through the forest of where these thousands of creatures ran. They're fallen trees. The brush is laid flat. The grass is mowed down. Almost as the crow flies, it extends towards the Jasper Mountain Range. And there, miles in the distance, you see the geometry of a town, of a city. And then it's gone.
Like gone like how? Like I don't see it anymore, or something obscured my vision?
It's probably the 1,000 Chupacabra that are now rushing back into the area.
Okay. All right, so I'm in the direction of Bianca. Ulfsik is going to like take a rope and kind of tie a bigger knot at the end of it as quickly as he can, so it's kind of weighted, and like swirls it above his head and throws it in Bianca's direction. And at the same time, Bianca, on your return trip, grab the rope and I will pull you back in.
Cool.
Yeah, you hear that.
It is pretty warm out, actually, but thank you.
What?
You said cool, but it is pretty warm.
I need to teach you slang.
That sounds dirty.
It's not. Or, well, it depends what circles you're in.
And that's 6 seconds. As you have all prepared this, Yuknon, you have seen what you had to do. The rope is... roll me a athletics check just to see how far out you can get the rope. I might... Yeah, you get it about 30 feet out. So if she moves 30 feet with poor Cal cradled up against her, she will make it to your rope. Yuknon, you are side by side with Margaret as you both weather the last run that goes through, but you see she is taking damage as well.
Are we in another Eye of the Storm moment here, or
you are?
They've gone back out.
Yeah, you.
So
the one group is just past you, and you can see the oncoming rush of the next group.
Mm-hmm. So he's just finished swinging his shield and knocking a Chupacabra out of the air. And after having watched the several rounds of these creatures running out and running in and running out and running in, for a moment he's trying to figure out if there's a central point that maybe they seem focus on. If he can dictate if they have one singular focus and that's the center as they come out and come in and come out and come in.
Are you trying to see what they're kind of basing their attacks on, like a target, or like the fulcrum where they're spinning from?
Where they're spinning from.
Sure, absolutely. Roll me a perception check.
Okay.
If this is Dag, watch yourself.
I'm going to use advantage on this.
Our favorite number.
You fucking ruined it, Summer. Yes, as you see the fulcrum, you see the Chupacabras moving in and out, almost like a bow tie, like a figure eight. It's very coordinated. Some of them that are wounded move towards the center, but they keep that singular line, and floating just about a head and shoulders above everything, you see the face of Dag, surrounded by what looks like some type of wind.
Okay. He sees that as he's sort of bouncing his eyes around in this moment between strikes, and he leans over just an inch to the princess and he says, "Princess, that's Roberts. Follow her." And then he runs towards the center, dropping his sword, dropping his shield, and reaching out over his shoulder to draw his bone blade.
You see Dag sees you coming, and his eyes grow wide, and they are again the eyes of galaxies. But they still have that noticeable surprise as eyebrows raise and lids drop, and you see as you run towards him, you see him beginning to go down. But Margaret is not running towards Roberts. She is coming with you.
All right. If he sees that he sees that she's following him, he won't try to tell her again.
Because you elected to do this, I will give you the movement and an attack because you are currently out of. You won't be able to hold any action,
really?
But you can fire something into this little fucker if you want to.
Absolutely. So he's running because there's the fulcrum's coming around, and since he's running towards the center, I think he has like just a second where he leaps through the air as soon as he has his bone blade in hand, and he tries to crash it down as he lands onto the ground right on top of Dag. Oh no.
Oh no.
And
This little fucker, I swear to God.
with a double natty one, let's see. Hold on, I did the same thing for Robert, so.
Excuse me, you didn't give anybody their nat 20, their second nat 20?
I didn't. Did somebody tell me that?
Yes,
I'm
we
spilling
I
some
told you we
plates.
hit 30
3
retweets. I told you. We put it in chat. I said it out loud.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
All I'm saying
everybody.
is that if Dawn had it, maybe he could have used it.
I would have. Well, let's see if Dawn gets it. Let's do that. The dice will tell the story. Lauren is
Yes, they
1,
will.
Summer is 2, Steve is 3, Dawn is 4. 4's the number, everybody. It's not. It's you, Summer. You get a D20.
Great. Can't wait to use that.
So, Dawn, as you get pulled down, here at the fulcrum with the double nat 1, you land and you stab towards him like you were going to. You take a chupacabra, cleave it in twain, as Margaret gets to you as well. But right then, the fulcrum here moves much faster than the wider areas. It's almost spinning without a pause to it, and you rush and get hit by everything. You're not taking damage, but you're knocked prone, and so is Margaret, as you are both kind of barreled over inside all of this. Okay, so that takes us to James. James, you are back at the cart. What would you like to do, my friend, as you see all this crazy shit happening?
Well, James would see Yukon going for the center, but he wants to get Roberts. He probably would be he's doing the same thing that Ulsick's doing, was be tying ropes, because that was the plan, to throw ropes out to people to get them back. That's probably what he would do. He would tie a rope and just and weight it and try to toss it to Roberts and scream, "Roberts, grab the rope."
Roll me in athletics.
I will use an advantage on this.
Sounds good.
Nope, didn't matter.
Nice. So Roberts, a perfectly thrown, weighted end of the rope is coming right at you. As you have been pulled up, you see it kind of coming from your side as opposed to head on because of how Bowden has pulled you up. Bowden does not see, however, what had happened to Yuknon and Margaret. He's facing you. He's facing away from that wave that just took them down. But it is your turn, Roberts. What do you do?
Yeah, because Bo doesn't have a sword, I gave him my old one, because obviously I wasn't throwing that shit away. But the rope is like in front of me, or I grab it, and I hand it to him, and I say, "Get in the cart, I'm getting the rest." And I'm gonna go after fucking Yukon and Margaret and just hope this idiot gets in the cart like I just told him to.
Persuasion check.
I will use an advantage, I suppose, today.
If you must.
You know what? Fuck this. I'm using my nat 20. I don't need it for anything else. Ta-da.
Nice. Okay, so with a nat 20, Bowden looks, and you can see him kind of weigh and measure your words. He sees the carriage and how you've handled yourself, and he trusts you. He trusts you with Margaret, with understanding what you're saying, and he wraps his own arm around the rope that James has thrown, and as the next wave hits, he's going to be able to be pulled in, but Roberts, you will still be out in the pattern when this next kind of crush hits everybody.
Can I, because I haven't used any movement or anything, can I run and get close to Yuknon and Margaret?
Yeah, if you want to try to get towards that fulcrum, roll me a perception check.
Okay. I will use advantage on this.
Okay, I will re-erase it.
A nat 20.
Guess what? There's Dag. You see,
right in front of me?
You see
Yell
Dag.
out.
You see Dag peeking above the chupacabras that are roiling about him. You can see his eyes, and there are two orbs of galaxies as kind of just 4 or 5 feet away from where Yuknon and Margaret were pulled under. But he seems to be doing something.
I can't attack him, can I?
Yeah.
You let Dawn do it.
Yeah, but you were moving. Dawn never moved towards the wagon. He was still out in the pattern. I tell you what.
That's true.
Roll me an athletics check. 10 or above, you get there. 10 or below, it's just not in the cards.
Sure thing. 13.
Make your attack.
Oh, I would love to do that. 20.
Just misses.
No way.
Roll damage as you are able to bring your new longsword down on what would be the dome of Dag
7.
Nabbit. Just as it's about to split his little skull, you see a ripple all over him.
I hate him. I'd love to hit him again.
Yeah, you can do your full bevy of attacks. I'll go ahead if you have another.
I do. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna hit him again. 21.
That'll just
12.
With a 12, you again feel that. You can see the ripple as it kind of bounces like a drum head all around him. But even at this proximity, his eyes don't carry that same type of bravado you saw in the upper floor of his shop.
Yeah, and I absolutely yell very loudly, "It's fucking Dag." Very loudly.
Okay, everybody roll. No, everybody hears it's fucking Dag.
Yes.
And so as the call goes out that it's fucking Dag, everybody that's out in the pattern except for Bianca, who has not risen. You haven't come out of the area yet, correct? You're still in the dry waterbed. Okay. I need
like the top of it.
Right. So you're not going to be hit by these things.
Oh, cool. Sorry, didn't know what I was arguing with you about.
Okay, neither did I, but
I was just arguing.
Dawn, I need a strength save at disadvantage. Ulfsick and James, you're both back at the place, so you're okay. I will need one from Roberts, a strength save when she gets back, but okay, Dawn, you take 2 damage, and I need to see what happens when, let me see if Margaret can get up. She cannot. And as soon as we see what happens with, I will tell you this, Dawn, as you are beneath the level of the feet, with this last pass, right here, there is a build-up. You can actually feel it. The hairs on your arms begin to stand up a bit as there is a generation of power, right, especially towards this nexus. Robert, you are borne under by these things. You are going to take 6 damage as they tear you and pull you down. And as this wave passes over you, Bianca, there are ones that are kind of jumping right at like the propeller edge as you're looking, and you can see them kind of, you're not in them though. You got Cow and you're not in them. James and you, Ulfsic, you are not in them. You're in the carts with your ropes ready. Bowden has been pulled through the rest of the way. He's in the cart with you. Everybody else that's out, Margaret, Yuknon, Roberts, a pulse of electricity goes through the chupacabras. You each take 22 lightning damage as you feel your entire body get juiced by the kinetic energy that's been built up in this spin, as this body electric has been going back and forth and generating this power. And you can see that Dag's the one that let it go. Bianca, we're back up to you. You see this, Bianca. This is not something you have to roll an Arcana check for. You see the electricity blast off of these creatures. They don't seem to be harmed by it, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is really gonna suck if he saves. Hey, Dag! I'm weirdly happy to see you! And I cast Hold Person.
Sure, what's your DC?
It's 14.
Okay, I'll let you know he gets advantages on these. So just...
No! Can I stop that? Can I make that not a thing?
I wish, but no, I'm sorry. He fails.
He sucks so bad. He sucks so bad. We've been known he sucks so bad.
You see him freeze as his body, he's still just kind of like just his eyeballs above, but they're wide, frozen in fear. The chupacabras continue to spin, but they now spin in what looks like a real stampede. Whatever he was doing to control them in the whirl seems to have dissipated a bit. What's the range on Hold Person, just for shits and giggles?
Like 60 feet.
Okay, yeah, you're 60.
Yeah.
We were like 30
Yeah,
feet
he's
away,
in the middle,
maybe.
I'm at the edge. It's a 60 diameter? Yeah.
Okay, so as this hits, Ulfsic, you see Bianca cast from the riverbed, does not take your rope, is not ready to be pulled back in. Bianca, are you staying out in the pattern with Cal attached to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think she picks up, maybe she picked up the rope before this, but she's never done this before, so she's just like staring at him, like locked on.
Okay. Ulfsic, we'll say that she has hold of the rope, but she's not moving. What would you like to do?
Would like to take the rope and fasten it to some steady bastion within or on the wagon.
Easily done. Yep.
And then seeing where her gaze is and at Dag, I'm going to look at James. It seems as though he is at the center of all this. Let us end it. And then leaps from the back of the wagon with the two silver long swords and starts like Naruto running directly for Dag.
You can get there.
Now, since this is my first round of combat, I have the Dread Ambusher feat, if that counts. All right, so I would like to unleash 3 silvered attacks on him, and he is a humanoid, so he is my favorite enemy. So
you get advantage because he's paralyzed.
You get it, yeah.
And if you hit, it's an auto crit.
Cool. I got 3 shots to not roll like Dookie here.
Let's do it. That isn't Dookie.
So an 18, a 21, and a 10.
The 18 will hit. What, 18, 21, and 10? 18 and 21 will hit, 10 won't.
And they're auto crits?
They're auto crits, yes.
So that would be, let me look at the maths here. Wait, hold on. Alright. That'd be 16 on the first one. And 15 on the second one.
15 on the second. Let's see. Okay. So with the hit on the second one, the first one you see the across his form, but on the second one you see a bit of that, and then you see it draw and drag and take his right ear from his head, but he does not move.
And then since one of those is a crit, the Dread Ambusher attack did hit off the first attack, so that's an extra 1d8 damage, so that's 2d8 with a crit.
Yep, go right ahead and roll that, man. Anything you roll is doubled.
All right, 5.
And
that's force.
Yeah, and we'll say with this one, you can see his face kind of blister, almost not with electrical burns, but with just kind of like friction as the force hits, but he can't react to that. He can't go with the force damage, so it just rips and raws the side of his face as you take his ear off, but he can't move.
And then after those 3 quick moves, I'm going to like get to his make his eye contact. I gave you a chance. And then my intent is to witness and let the terror emanate in his eyes as he is bound.
The expression, nothing changes, but you do notice that inside his eyes and those nebula, the stars, planets, meteors whirl faster on their ellipses inside. You have no idea if that means anything, but they seem to pick up speed. Yuknon, you are underneath and on the ground, but there is that pause as now we have a break in all of this. You can stand, and Dag is now, the creatures are clearing out from around Dag. There's still plenty of them here, but they seem to be either running back towards the woods, they seem to be leaderless.
Yuknon will rise from the ground and sort of push a chupacabra out of his way, and he touches his bloody palm to the side of his blade, and it begins to glow with this bright light. And he just kind of cuts it around like this as he's moving around the Dag's side, and then he just slices across his body right at Dag's neck.
Roll with advantage.
Okay. 16.
A 16 does not hit. You see...
No, then
you see something
I will use
bounce.
my inspiration.
Okay.
How about a 20?
Absolutely hits.
Okay. And I re-roll 1d4. It's going to be 42 damage.
And that's part of the auto crit? Or is that double that?
That is the auto crit.
That is doubled? Okay.
Mm.
What's it look like when Dag's head comes off his body?
Completely emotionless on Yuknon's face. Dag's head comes straight off his body. It flies 10 feet into the air. It hits the ground, rolls a few times, gets caught on a rock, and then I imagine it getting stomped by the foot of a chupacabra.
And so it is. As one of the chupacabras actually steps right into its suck hole that's going back up into its head, and for a second stops and does that kind of almost dog-like back leg shake where it has to shake Dag's head off of its back foot. And it does. It eventually comes to rest as the chupacabra start running off into the woods and the surrounding area. James, roll me a perception check.
I'll use my inspiration on that if I need to go higher.
I'll give you more if you roll your inspiration.
Okay, I will.
Okay, so 14 was the DC for this, but as you look around, you see several of the chupacabra blink out of existence. They turn into not dust, they don't turn into light or motes, they simply cease to exist. You see them blink out. Roberts, roll me a perception check.
I'll use an advantage. I think we just got more, so might as well.
You did. Pitter Patterer just gave us some advantage. Thank you, my friend.
22.
As you roll a 22, for a moment, as this kind of clears around you, and the remaining guards are kind of pulling themselves up, some of them are not rising, you hear a singular note above everything else. And it's the note from Sister Ott's bowl, one that's now in your possession. You hear it again. And your ring is glowing.
I look down at it. Is it just glowing, or is it like directional light?
It seems to be glowing brighter towards the north.
Yeah. I think she looks at it and just spins it on her finger a little bit. And looks at the group. And I think she looks at Bianca. We need to go.
She looks like she's like coming out of a complete daze. What?
We need to go. We need to get a move on.
Why?
I think we're running out of time.
What of all the fallen here? He sort of gestures around at the bodies.
If
James
we
would
don't
try
go,
to
there may be
start-
more.
He would try to cast spare the dying on some of the ones on the ground if he thinks they're dying. He would immediately, you know, as she's talking, he kind of hears her, but he's already going for people that he thinks he can save.
Okay, I love that. Roll me either an athletics or an acrobatics, James, as you kind of sprint, because they're spread out. These guards were getting ready to do stuff, and they were...
I'll use an advantage too.
Okay. James, roll me a d4. Of all of the guards that were prepared to die, that were slipping off because we had been through 3 rounds of combat, only one of them passes on. You save the rest. 12 souls belong to Brother James in this moment.
Yeah, the one that dies, he kind of like puts his head down and he agrees with Robert, so we got to go. You know,
We have to find Ironbender.
Of course. He looks then to princesses. Has Bowden returned from
The cart?
the cart?
Yeah, he's come over and he watched as James ran around, and you know, he himself was moving to help the fallen, but James outpaced him and just got there, and with his clerical abilities kind of did what Bowden couldn't, but Bo bore witness to all of that, and then he slowly comes back to kind of your collected group. Bianca, you can bring Cal up as well.
Yeah.
And about 30 seconds later, a limping flower walks into the area.
Why do I care? I want to pass Cal to someone. I'm gonna get him out of my baby Bjorn. And who's good at comforting?
You see that small blue-haired, almost childlike figure that had ridden off with the earlier column come riding back in with the other 30 guards that were still a couple minutes away, but She comes in and takes Cal, and you begin to hear this kind of almost like a sing-song, but it's more bubbles and like a babbling brook sound that comes out of her. And Cal just sits there, and you see him kind of in a daze. Where's Flower? You know.
She's fine. Ugh, I don't want to deal with this. I'm going to go over to Dag's shitty little body.
It's
I
there.
beat you, Steve. You walked away. It's my turn.
Like,
Where's his shit little...
He has a gold band on. He has a ruby ring on.
Yes!
And he has a pouch.
I love pouches. Hold on. Gold band. Ruby ring. Because I take notes.
What's our... I tell you what, we get over 40 retweets. That's when you want to open that bag.
But she's so nosy.
I'll wait.
I know Yuknon kind of decapitated him into oblivion, but is there a way I could track down the skull or what is left of it?
Yep, it's just sitting there.
You gonna take it with you?
It looks like Dag's been buried up to his neck in Chupacabra stamped ground.
What are his eyes back to normal, or are his eyes still galaxies?
They're back to normal.
I want to try to remove that eye from his skull.
Roll me a sleight of hand.
Alrighty.
Keep this one with the boom shrooms. They're roughly the same size.
I'll use an advantage on this one.
Roughly in the same texture.
14.
That's nasty. And same flavor, probably.
Similar taste, yeah.
As you are taking this out, Billy, just when you almost have it, not to get too graphic, but there's a pop.
Don't worry, there's another one.
Right? He's got another one.
All right, I'll try this. If I can, try the same, and I'll burn another advantage for another sleight of hand. If you'll let me.
Absolutely.
Is this worth it? I think we should all ask ourselves.
It's a personal thing, so yeah.
I know.
it's worth it to him.
We support him.
This time, the cut is slower, more deliberate, and like again, without getting graphic with something like this, you retrieve what you were after. But roll me a perception check.
19.
Much like with the hand that was kept from the Fission Fisher, you notice that as you take what you've taken from Dag, where there were no nebula or star fields, you see a constellation appear instead of a pupil.
I want to reach into like my cloak, pull out a really big wet leaf, and place the eye in the leaf, roll it up tightly, and put it in the same pouch as the hand.
It's there. Put it on your inventory. Constellation Eyeball.
And since we got 40 retweets just now, I'm gonna open that pouch, Greg.
There is a figurine of an owl inside.
Yuknon, as the prince comes over to join the princess and he and Roberts, and they've had this brief conversation about whether they should stay or go. Yuknon will nod, and once he realizes that most of these men have been saved by James, and he'll say, Princess, Prince, you're not safe if you stay with us. Where are you traveling? Perhaps we can meet up with you soon.
Bowden steps forward. We're going to Baldur's Gate for the trade agreement, but this seems to be pressing. This seems to be dire. We have men. We can ride with you. We can help.
I insist that you continue to Baldur's Gate and allow us to go on our way. We will be safer without you, and your men do not need to be injured or killed on our behalf. We can take care of ourselves.
Margaret comes up to the two of you as you're exchanging, and you see her reach up with her right hand, and for a second her hand hovers between the two forearms, Yuknon's and Bo's, like equidistant between the two. Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Natural 20.
Her hand rests on your forearm. What would you have us do?
Make haste to Baldur's Gate. Keep close watch in case more of those things come, or they have allies. Protect yourselves and be safe. How long will you be in the city?
Weeks. At least weeks.
If we do not meet you, then I will find a way to contact you. But we must go. My friends are right.
She looks like she wants to say something. But her
He
eyes...
smiles just a little bit.
There's a ghost of a smile on her lips. And she turns to Bo. This is their adventure. They know what they are facing. They saved us here. You could help more by warning others. And he pauses just for a minute. And then nods. Okay. Summer, roll a persuasion or roll a perception check.
I'll use an advantage. No.
You don't have to.
I have to. 17.
Okay. As the sound of the bowl, Sister Ott's note from that like Tibetan bowl goes off again, the ring and the glow of the ruby for a second almost climbs and blinds you. You see all red for a moment, but then as it recedes, you see a very dark place. Not just in light, but in promise, in hope. And you see Bo. He is kneeling, and there is a woman with what looks to be shaved hair, and he is pressing a rag against a wound in her side, and then pressing it against her forehead. And he's dirty, thin, not the robust man that you remember. Not even like the one that you are looking at in front of you, this regal, this royal version, this gilded mirror of the man you knew. This is a truer representation, but it looks defeated. And then the ley line whips as one of those soiled, rotten sections goes past where you are, and the light fades and the ruby dims. You are back with the group.
She obviously has been listening to this conversation and clearly sees that Yuknon has some sort of understanding with the princess. and for a second stands a bit bewildered at what she's seen, but every time that she's looked at Bo and every time he's looked at her and she's seen no recognition, like every single time he looks at her and he doesn't realize who she is just a little bit of like a nagging feeling that this isn't him. Like this isn't, he looks the same, or he seems like the Bowden that she knew, but after this vision, I think she feels convinced that this isn't actually him. And she looks over at Yuknon. Let's prepare to leave. We can help them where we can, but I think our group should convene and discuss before we say our goodbyes.
I agree.
And she just turns on her heel and goes to check on like Bianca and Cal and the others.
Bianca, Cal is with you. He's left the blue-haired girl, and he comes back over. Flower has a splint. He's recovered his cart. Somehow his rams that he was using to carry the cart have survived as well, as he has put them back onto his vehicle. I found my crossbow. I can come with you if you need me.
That is very generous of you, Cal, but I think your herd needs you more.
I'm a pretty good shot.
Oh, I know, that's not the question, but what are your sheep going to do without you?
I've got Val from in town. She's coming in and watching.
Yeah, but is she really like Cal Finnegan gonna watch the sheep? You know what I'm saying?
No, she's way younger. She's probably going to watch him a little bit better, but...
Can I be walking over at this point? Because I need to hear this
Yes.
happening. Yeah, Roberts walks over and I think just kind of interrupts the conversation. But does she know them like you do?
Does she know all their names, Cal? I bet they each have names.
Well, yeah. All sheep have names. You just have to be around them long enough for them to tell them to you.
Does Val know all your sheep's names?
No disrespect to Val, but no.
And you're just gonna... Cal Finnegan, you're just gonna leave them with her? She doesn't even know their names.
Well, I mean, you all are my friends, and if you need help...
We deeply, deeply appreciate your help and, of course, bringing Bianca the rest of the way to us, but this is very dangerous. And you should be watching over the bend. We know that you can defend yourself and others, and you should be there to protect them.
Unless you're a priest, because if you're a priest, you have to stay with us.
If you're a priest, you have to tell us that you're a priest.
Yeah, you have to tell us if we ask.
I'm not a priest, and I'm not a cop. I've heard that one before.
I bet you have.
What? No. Roll me a persuasion with advantage. Roberts.
Who?
Roberts.
Okay. I'm so persuasive. 15.
Well, I mean, Iron Bender is gone, so I guess somebody needs to protect the bend.
Exactly, and we know that we can trust you.
Okay, well, I'll move the herd closer. The lavender should be all pulled in for the season, so I could probably bring them down there to help with a little bit of the turnover. You know what I mean? Shepherd humor.
I know exactly what you mean.
Do you?
I do.
Okay. Well, if you need me, you know where to find me.
We'll be back with Ironbender very soon.
Well, don't leave without saying goodbye, okay? When you come back in town.
Of course not.
Robert has a date, so we've got to get back.
Okay. Well, okay.
Cal, one last thing. If you could not mention the whole DAG part of this incident.
That's the best part.
Town.
I
I
agree,
know.
Cal. It is the best part.
I think you can leave in the part where he was definitely evil and a total asshole, but if you could withhold the part where Yukon cut off his head, that would be.
Sorry, I just have to.
Okay.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to the group, there is a note inside of Cal's pocket right now that is another flyer for the message board in the Bend. It is a picture of Yukon taking the head off of Dag. Yeah, I'll just kind of casually mention that he was bad.
Right.
Just like in conversation.
Conversation. Why does it come up in conversation?
All right. Where did that little blue-haired person go?
She's in and about, kind of helping everybody. And then once Cal's kind of been relieved from her, she actually helped Cal kind of like retether his rams to his cart, and she's off by herself on a smaller, like a pony-sized horse.
Hi.
Don't walk off yet. I saw something that I want to share.
Oh, okay. I'll freeze. Look, I'm doing my best Dag impression.
I don't get it.
Never mind.
Okay.
It's really
Anyway,
good, though.
Right before Roberts had yelled that there was something mean about Dag that he was present, I saw Jessup and Chirp riding north into what looked like a city. But that city is not there anymore. At least I don't think.
Wasn't he looking for a city? I listened. Wasn't he?
Yeah,
That's what Chirp said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Good.
And Roberts mentioned it too, that she had seen it in the
cool,
clouds
cool.
at the campfire. Remember when we spent so much time around the campfire?
Yeah, so much time talking about Chirp. Literally nothing else.
You think that is the last we will see of them?
I think maybe they have their own things to attend to, not looking at Yukon. We'll see. But I did want to ask someone a question. Can I move now?
Yeah, yeah, of course you can
Great.
always move. I just thought you might want to know, but that's
I do. I want to know all the things all the time. Praise Ogma, whatever knowledge. I skip away.
Speaking of which, James, what are you doing at this present when you are talking with the group and you see all this going on? Is there
James was probably cleaning up, trying to help out as much as he can, with everybody, making sure they're stable. And he would probably go over to the prince and princess and say that they should probably stay in the Bend, because these people don't go straight to Baldur's Gate, in his opinion, because they need to be. He doesn't think that you're gonna have people dying if they keep trying to travel.
Yeah, Yukon
That's what he would tell him.
Yukon would put a hand on James's
there.
shoulders and say, no, they have pressing business, and we don't know that the Bend is any safer. And he kind of like shoots James this meaningful look.
He would look at Yukon and be like, you do realize that there are men that could die within, just because I helped them does not mean they're going to make it completely.
Baldur's Gate is a very safe, happy place.
And that is very far away.
Sure, they'll have plenty of
But
time.
he kind of like
on
he
the
just kind of looks
way.
at Yuknon. He's like, okay. He just kind of like, because he's James has kind of been out of the loop with him, though, but he's starting to see Yuknon speak with the princess more, and he's been trying to put things together with them to see what since he's been here, he's been completely lost in who anybody is, and he just kind of like, all right, well, he just kind of like says, you do what you think is best for your people. And he just starts to prepare. Yeah, he starts to prepare. I thought the deal was to go. We're getting out of this place. And that's what he's been,
I'm going to get a drink down by that stream over there and kind of clean up a little bit before we get moving. We should leave soon, but why don't you come join me? And he's still next to James, but he kind of shoots a look over towards like where Roberts and the others are too. Maybe in a couple of minutes before we head off.
Absolutely. Like, wink, wink. We'll all go down to the stream.
Yeah, he'll leave first. He'll casually he'll bow to the prince and the princess, and he says, "I promise to say goodbye before we go," and then he'll make off towards the stream.
So James kind of like nods and bows at them as well and says, "Just tend to the wounds and make sure they're okay, if you care." And he kind of like gives them a bow and walks towards Yuknon.
Okay. I assume everybody is gathering with Yuknon except for Bianca. I know Bianca is...
Yeah, I like to go off by myself and do things.
I can fill in that bish later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you what's up.
I'll be there. I'll be right there. I just have a question.
Who are you talking to?
The blue-haired person who has magic.
Oh, yeah. Well, just meet us down by the stream when you're done with that.
I would love to join the group bath. Come on.
Down by the schoolyard.
Yeah.
Me and Julio.
What's her name? What is their name?
Her name is Wave Child.
Oh my god.
Of course it is.
Of course. Hi. Thank you for go to the stream. Thank you for helping Cal. I had a question, and stop me if this is too forward. Are you a mage?
Yes.
Great. If I wanted you to look at a few things, would that be possible?
This is the equivalent of finding out that a friend of yours is a doctor and then going up and saying, "Hey, are you a doctor?" And them saying yes and being like, "This on my side is this rash. What is this?" But yes, Wave Child looks at you. Sure.
Thank you. And I hold out the three things.
What are the three things?
The gold band, the ruby ring, and the owl figurine.
I will tell you the gold. I'll tell you one of them right now. And then I'll give you, by the next session, you'll have them all.
The ruby ring.
But why wait?
Yeah, why wait, Greg?
Because somebody else has a ruby ring.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It looks so good on me, too.
It's very pretty.
The ruby ring seems to have the ability to scry.
Scry on the...
But
gives the wearer the ability to scry?
Wave Child seems a little confused as the magic isn't identical to a spell that they've learned. The best that she can come up with is that it looks as if the wearer of the ring can see things, not necessarily that they choose to see, but things that are hidden from everyone else. The ruby ring is similar to sunglasses in a 1980s hit movie, They Live.
I'm familiar. Cool. And then she tells me the others that I go with my friends by the stream.
I'll tell you this, the owl's a figurine of wondrous power.
Yay! Is it the serpentine owl or regular owl?
It's my owl that I will give you the stats for.
Yay! Okay, bye. Yeah, I go to the stream with my fans.
I will also say
Washing off
this.
my sword.
If you are looking at this owl anywhere around James, you would recognize it.
I was just typing that in, by the
I
way.
will never, ever pull it out around James.
James, you never
Ever.
recognize it. Okay,
James,
so
if he would see it, he knows exactly what it would be, probably.
And I put on Dag's ring. Ha
We
ha.
match.
We match.
Like friendship rings.
Yeah.
right. Friendship cursed rings. Okay, so down by the river we have James, Yuknon, Ulfsik, and Roberts. Yuknon, I believe you've congregated this little sermon by the shore. What is the lesson of your mass?
And so he goes about casually, cleaning his swords. He picks up one of the fallen shields and long swords to replace the one that he dropped along the way. He kind of washes his hands and he's looking around. He wants to make sure as everybody else is kind of joining that nobody else is coming, not from their adventuring party.
Yeah, can we do some kind of check to make sure nobody else is listening in?
You don't see anybody. Do you want to roll like a perception or?
Yeah, I want to make
Absolutely.
sure there's
We love
nobody.
rolling.
Sure, yeah.
I don't want to just think there's nobody. I want to know there's
We want
nobody.
confirmation.
That's right. 22.
Dawn and Yuknon and Roberts, you are confident that you are presently alone. There's no one physically around.
Okay.
And
Or spiritually around.
You don't see any ghosts. How's that?
Good.
Good.
I was
as
worried.
Metaphysically around.
as everyone's kind of like washing their swords and washing their hands and everything, you see Ulfsik wade fully into the stream and get completely naked and start splashing the water up on himself and like taking a full-on bath just like no one's around.
I imagine that Roberts was like starting to drink some of the stream water and then you got naked and started like taking a bath in it. She's just like, never mind about that. I'll wait till that's over.
James
But
is not
she-
surprised to see Ulfsik do that either.
No, I don't think any of us are surprised
Right.
at this
No
point.
surprise here.
But after a while of everybody just kind of being there and like washing off our shit, she looks at Yuknon and Robert says, I don't think that's him.
It's not. Or at least, if it is, he's changed. This is when he kind of leans in close. I don't know if Ulfsik could hear, but he'd kind of keep his mouth open towards the stream to turn towards the stream, and he'd just share with everybody as they've gathered around. The prince is as Dag was, with swirling stars and constellations in his eyes. I saw it for myself. I don't think we can save Ironbender yet. I think we have to save the princess, their people, whatever that person, that entity has planned. It can't be good.
So you do know them.
Yes.
I knew the princess once.
And you know the Prince Roberts.
I do. But he doesn't seem to recognize me, which was what made me suspicious. But while we were talking, I had a vision of sorts. And I saw Bo, the real one, I think, somewhere dark. He looked like a prisoner. I think that maybe he and possibly also Dag were replaced by somebody who looks like them and maybe has parts of their memories and can fool the people closest to them.
I'm worried that they're going to go to the bend.
They'll
And
pass
I do
through.
not- It's only half a day away. If we continue on north now, they'll reach the bend. If there's something they have planned there, we won't be able to stop it before they do.
Ulfsik walks fully back into the circle now. He's put on underpants, but he's still mostly clothes lifted, holding on to a wet ball of clothes in his hand.
Ulfsik?
And I heard what you were saying the whole time. And I this is serious. I believe that if he is one of the star people, then we must kill him or talk to him.
Killing him is a little hasty.
Based on his behavior too, I'm not even sure. I mean, Dag was very obviously trying to sabotage us and was coming after us, but I'm not even sure that this prince knows yet what he is. Maybe something in the bend triggered Dag. I don't know. But I think our priority should still be Ironbender.
I agree. Ironbender is the life of that place. Believe me.
And given that he's the one protecting the ley lines, and this all seems to come back to the ley lines, currently there is nothing defending them.
James would look at Yukon and see that he's definitely distressed about this. And he wants to help him too, though. He sees that he has a real connection with the princess in some way, shape, or form that he doesn't know.
I do not know these people, but is the princess not a star person? Is it just the prince?
I don't believe so. I spoke to them both at length. I didn't see in her eyes what I saw in his eyes, what we've seen in Dag's eyes. And if he is possessed by another entity or replaced, then their marriage, and he kind of slides his gaze towards Roberts, is just a manipulation, a means to an end. It's not real, and she's in danger.
Well, Yukon, if Roberts, did you have something to say?
Kidnap him.
I
Take him with us.
just
Well,
think
this is
she's in danger whether she's with us or not with him. We could separate them, maybe, but unless we do take him with us or kill him, we can't separate them for good. She does love him. Whatever you do will be met with resistance.
But does she love him? If she loves him, and this person is a replacement person, then this is not the real him. It is a fraction of him.
She loves the replacement of him.
Could we distract Ulfsik? Could we separate them? Take him. That's our best solution. We could separate them and then take him somehow and then flee as quickly as possible.
Are y'all talking about kidnapping someone? Hello.
We are.
This is coming from the person who said that killing someone was too hasty. So I'm a little confused.
I did not say that. I said to kidnap him.
Who are
I want to take the
we're
evil.
killing? Who are we killing?
I think
killing
we
anybody.
I have an idea. Ulfsik, or Yukon, if you would like to talk to the princess, I could have a moment with Bo. Offer up a trade, and show him the monster hand and the eyeball, and if it affects him in a negative way, then maybe he is a Starman.
He is Wolfsick.
Bo's a Starman?
Apparently.
Yes. That's
They have offered to ride with us. I mean, we've refused because it's dangerous for them and their men, but they've offered to come with us.
I think we should allow them to come with us. I just did not want to agree to it before we all understood what exactly he is.
Is Peggy a star person?
I don't believe so. And
It doesn't mean she's
Command
not.
him
her
to
name
come
is
with us.
Margaret. Princess Margaret.
So
Not
Meg.
Peggy.
Margie?
She's going to keep calling her Peggy.
It's a nice name. I like her.
We
Then-
could change our minds and have them come with us.
And potentially handicap ourselves if we come up against other monsters like them. Potentially trigger whatever it was that made Dag attack us. And who knows what kind of consequences it'll have if we come across Ironbender, when we come across Ironbender.
I voted to take him.
I don't
If we
think
take
we need
him-
to do anything in hostility.
If we take him, they'll come searching for us. It's the same ends. They follow us. They end up where we are. He did seem to want to come with us. It's possible that our meeting wasn't an accident at all.
Or we let them go on their way.
I don't want them going to the Bend if he's one of those things.
Do we have a way to contact Jeff?
Who's Jeff?
The portal lizard.
Portal
Maybe
lizard.
there's a way we could get them straight to Baldur's Gate. I'm sure he's been there before. If we could bring Jeff here, he's familiar with the area. We haven't moved since this morning, but maybe we could hop them straight over the Bend. They wouldn't even need to stop through. And we would be back to the Bend before they would ever get back there when they came this way.
And if they wanted to divert and go to the Bend, we would know that their intentions are at the Bend.
We would. If you put up any kind of resistance whatsoever to making their journey shorter, not passing through the Bend, we would know that maybe he has secret intentions of stopping there. I mean, obviously we could pass it under the guise of we'd like to meet up with them again sooner rather than later and would like to cut their travel time down. I think they would believe that.
If they have a motive at all, we could run them in circles and they would eventually have to leave and get on their way. If they are there to just genuinely help us and look out for us, they will follow us wherever we go.
Yugnon, I think that you could convince Princess Margaret of just about anything.
Yes. I could. What of
So do
Sir
we have a-
Jessup?
I think they're gone.
Yeah.
But we can find the way. I think it's just on the path.
Or
Would
maybe we can. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beyond.
Oh no, after you, Wolfie.
If I had something of Sir Jessup and Chirps, if they did go to the city, maybe I could at least track them to the point where they become untrackable.
What
if they
direction
left
were they
this-
headed in?
Towards the center of the Chupacabra tornado. They found a little narrow gap, and then they were heading north to what looked like a civilization.
Greg, is that where the mountains are? Right?
Just beyond what would have been the Royals camp, that had 30 yards until it hit the forest. It's almost as if a cyclone had gone through the forest. There's fallen trees. Not the whole thing isn't leveled, but it is almost flat as it goes straight towards the Jasper mountain range. And
Did they disappear in that direction too?
That's where Chirp and Jessup ran. They ran towards this newly formed road, this newly formed passage that had been mashed down by these thousands of chupacabra.
But I'm talking about the chupacabra. Did they disappear in that distance, or was this just everywhere?
They came in mass from that direction.
Clear path.
Whatever we wish to do, I'm sure the princess will help, and I can speak to her.
Do we have a way to get in contact with Thrilquill or Jeff or any of them?
Let me check something. And he pulls out his signed autograph, and he kind of like shakes it just to see, like, is there a reaction? Is it magic?
Roll a perception check.
Oh my god, if this works, I'm gonna die.
An 8.
You don't see anything, but you do remark that both of you look pretty good. You look good together.
It was a long shot, but
Cute
I just
couple.
thought.
Well, okay, so everyone's gonna hate this, but
Right.
like maybe a good way to do everything is actually to get back to the bend by sunset and then have Jeff send them. So we'd be with them when they're in the bend so they can't do anything shifty without us knowing, and then have Jeff boop us over to the Jasper Range after he boops them to Baldur's Gate, which is the official arcane term for portals, is booping.
Jeff could get us to where he dropped us off last time. I'm sure that we could find the way back to the well.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like wasted time.
But it's...
I know.
I will remind you that Prince Bowden did say that this was their casual taking their time tour of the countryside. Now, whether their plans have changed after this attack, unsure, but you know that they were going in like a roundabout way to get to Baldur's Gate to begin with, because they knew that once this was over, the demands of state would keep them in the capital of Cormyr, Suzal, basically forever.
Well, but we could convince them that staying in one place and spending their honeymoon in Baldur's Gate, like spending it all without traveling, would be way better than
I know
actually just...
some lovely places.
Why don't
sure
we
you
just tell
do.
them? Why don't we give them a note? They can stay in the bend. Tell Jeff to come get us, and boom, we're right back to the bend. And they're
Wait,
still there at the
'cause-
bend.
Because Jeff can't come here.
He knows where we're at the Jasper Range.
That's why I'm saying we should ride back to the bend, which will only take half a day.
Are we not looking for Jessup and Chirp?
I think Chirp needs to focus on her quests and
This
doesn't
is
need
his life
distractions
quest.
of big burly men. Doesn't need to be distracted by them.
Do you
Mm-mm.
think she was distracted by them?
We need to get
I
that
would
done.
love to know
That's
what
he-
you saw.
I would love to know more about your sheep herding jokes.
Greg, for the instant that I saw them, did it seem like they were taken into the city, or were they just retreating towards the city?
Oh yeah, they were moving towards it. They didn't like enter into it. The city itself for you, Billy, seemed way in the distance. It seemed at the end of this kind of swathed or kind of sheared path through the mountainside.
Am I to believe that, based on what you're telling me, there is a 100% for sure way that if you return to the bend, that a lizard named Jeff will open up a portal that will circumvent us needing to walk all the way to the mountains?
He's been
Yes.
very obliging.
He's done
We-
Why did you
This
walk
was
to
my
begin with?
first suggestion.
Because-
Nobody say anything.
Because Jeff was predisposed with the
He was-
Bane's Bastards. He
Yeah.
He's
could
not
not
now.
help us. Well, he is coming back to Bane's Bastards or coming back to the Bend at sunset, opening up a portal. So we would have to be there by sunset, which is impossible.
It's not, though. There's some very nice horses.
That's true. So really, this has all been a huge waste of time, other than killing Dag, which I think was worth it.
Yes, very. I was expecting to come back to a group high five, but that was not the vibe I picked up, so we passed over it, but maybe later.
How far are we from the mountains now?
Without the need for perception check, you've been rolling them all night. You could tell that the road that you were traveling kind of meandered away and then doubled back to the north. This new kind of swath seems to put you within a day, as opposed to Jessup's earlier estimates.
And what time is it right now?
It's morning.
Okay. Perhaps
So
we
we could
should
get
split up.
Split up.
We could split
Half
up.
of us return to the town. Make sure that the prince is...
Behaves himself.
Bad idea.
It's a great idea.
It's
I
a
can't
practical
find
idea.
it
It's not a
in
good
my-
idea.
Ulsa
case-
keeps his head up to see if anyone else is paying attention to their conversation from the camp.
Right.
We rolled for it. They better not be.
I can't bring myself to give up on Sir Jessup, on Chirp. They're in danger.
They just rode off. They bailed. They're fine.
They rode off in the direction that a tornado of chupacabras came from.
They rode off toward the well.
They disappeared. The chupacabras began to disappear.
Well, maybe someone should have tied their tent flaps. We'd all be fine right now.
Chirp knew what she was doing. If she had thought that she needed our help, she would have called out for it.
No, she wouldn't have.
I-
Have you met her?
Their quest is their own.
Several
I think we
times.
need to find Ironbender.
It's all in the same direction.
If we take the same path, we'll come across them. We'll hopefully come across Ironbender, but we cannot do both. And if we do split up and something happens at the Bend, we will have no way of knowing until the next day at sunset.
No. James, that's not true. That's not true, is it? James.
What are we talking about?
We have stones now.
The rocks
Oh.
in your pocket.
Rocks
I don't
in
know
your
the distance.
pocket.
I don't know the distance that they take though.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, I get it. I was
Hey,
going to
Greg,
plant
what's the
one.
distance?
I was going to plant one on the prince. I don't know if you could hear them though. That's what I was going to do.
I think they have to like pick up the call. I don't think you can just
Right.
like
Yeah, okay.
eavesdrop because that would be OP as fuck.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Connect by a Bluetooth.
Just leave
Yeah.
it right there.
What's the distance on those, Greg?
I don't know. I'm not
Endless?
a mage with identify.
3 days, would you say?
Give me.
Wave Child's gone. You have no idea where she went.
Bullshit.
But either
Let this-
way, even if we did have a way to communicate across that distance, we wouldn't be able to get to each other unless Jeff stayed in one spot.
Let me put something.
We
out
would be
there, too,
separated for a
also.
full day.
Yeah, separating is a horrible idea.
I
Let
think
us
it's a
take
horrible idea,
gander
too.
of all of the things that we are trying to accomplish.
Right.
Ironbender might be north, might not be north. Right? Sir Jessup and Chirp, definitely north. I saw them go that way.
Of their own volition.
The prince and the princess are here with us, willing to follow us around for a while, so they will go north with us. And so that is 3 things that we can keep around us at all times. And we are going to the Bend for what again? Because we got
Because
3
that
reasons to
was-
go north.
That was the reason that their party was heading south. So
Do we know for certain that they were going to the
Yes,
Bend, or
because
what?
Baldur's Gate is south.
I think we can catch them.
But most of the roads
They're
go
taking their
outside
time.
of the band, right? Not many go through the band. That's the point.
Don't nod,
Would-
Greg.
But
Your
what
nodding
if
is a
he's
lie.
if he's explicitly trying to go through the bend because he is a star person, and that is where all the ley lines intersect? Then he could infect a ley line, the one that we saw, the one by the well, has been infected.
But he
Or
can't go
drained.
to the bend if he is going north with us.
Right.
But if he's going north with us, then we're in danger perpetually.
Be prepared to fight his army if he is bad.
If he's going to do that, I have things.
He also has 42 men.
Right. And
We
they're going to
put-
follow him.
Well, we become friends with him and we put them in the front.
I believe that if it comes down to it, they'll follow the princess.
You believe that?
I do.
She's their ruler, not him.
She's
She
blood.
married him. He married into her line. I think Ulfsic's right. Even if it puts us in danger, at least we know the danger now. And he doesn't know that we know.
Maybe
Yeah, I
we
will
could
trust what you
bait
guys
him.
say.
But also, we saw Dag mind control hundreds of Chupacabra. What is 42 men?
You are putting them in danger, taking them with us. But I will do what you want.
They're in danger now.
Everyone's in danger now.
Better to keep your thumb on the danger. It's better to see the snake.
We are taking them into greater danger than going that way for them. We can catch them later. But I will, whatever you guys decide, I will go with.
If Margaret can guarantee that they will stay out of the way once we reach the well, that they will hold back, then we might as well take them with us.
I believe she will listen. I believe that she trusts us.
She trusts you.
And we are together.
We are together.
Right.
All right, so is anybody opposed to this idea? All of us heading north together.
But he will do what he knows. It means a lot to Yuknon, so he's going to support him. But he would grab Yuknon at the end of it and be like, "You better be sure about this."
Sure as I can be.
So, Yuknon talk to them, and the rest of us will get prepared to go and see Cal absolutely back to the bend.
Of course. I'll tell them that we're worried about our knight friend and squire, that we're missing them, and we could use the help.
Even if they chose to send some of their men onward, I think that would be fine.
Yes.
To wait for them. We don't need all of them.
I agree.
Right.
So is that the ask?
And break.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hands in.
Go
and
team!
team.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
that's the pitch. Is actually we're
pitch.
missing our knight friend and their squire, and we're worried about them. Will you come with us for a time and travel with us? I know it's your honeymoon.
It's one day out of the way.
Mhm. You can take your wounded, maybe take your wounded men and have someone lead them to the bend where they can rest.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't even know that the band exists, so maybe we don't tell them about the band.
We just say go ahead and rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest
Yeah.
over there.
Wait for us to return, maybe.
Yuknon, there is no need for a roll here. You had Princess Margaret at our knight and squire friend. She wanted to come anyway.
Yeah.
And so as they are going to send ahead the wounded, and by ahead, basically down out of the rest of the foothills of the mountains until they reach a level area, a part that they basically indicated as, 5 to 10 miles down the road, down this road. They're still sending 30 troops with the royal couple. They just refuse to send any more or send any less. And the others that were wounded and their own detail of guards given to them to create a camp. The quartermaster's wagon and everything is sent ahead. You know that 10 miles isn't nearly the bend. So they're going to still be along the road. It doesn't seem like they're going into the bend. There doesn't seem to be any nod, wink, wink. You do, however, don't have to convince, but there is another, I'm really good shot. I can see that you're bringing extra people along. But that's, I'm sure Cal is convinced to go back to the bend and help. Is there anything you would like Cal to do, since he's actually going to be traveling back in the direction of these other...
We could give Cal one of the stones to give to Jeff. That way we can be like, ring, ring, Jeff, get us. Come get us.
I'm good with that. I can definitely give him one. I just don't think the distance is going to...
I personally love the idea. I just want you to picture Cal for a second with his sheep's hood. It's with one of the ears torn off. He's got his busted up crossbow. He's got a lame flower. But if you present him with this mission, you will never see a happier face.
Let's do it. Let's make this guy's day.
Can we
Life,
send a couple
maybe.
of guards with him to help him get there? Can we manage to
I don't-
convince?
I don't think we should.
I don't think we should send the guards to the
I
bend.
don't think we should send him through the woods on his own.
He's gonna make it back in like a day, like a couple. Like he'll be fine.
I will tell you this: none of the guards nor the royals have mentioned the bend at all.
Yeah, we shouldn't mention it.
Yeah, and Dag was very, very innocent. I don't think there is a range on them. I think it should be fine.
And they would have said when they gave it to us, like, by the way, this has a
60
the
foot range.
maximum. Yeah,
I'd give it to
60 foot
Thrill
range.
Quill before I tell him to give it to Thrill Quill over Jeff.
No, but she's not with Jeff. Jeff is separate from her right now. She's at the pagoda. Jeff is like bouncing the fuck around with the bastards.
But he takes
So
orders
Jeff
from
needs
her.
to have it. But Jeff will listen to us if we give it to him.
Thrill Quill
Fair enough.
specifically said
Give it to
that
Jeff.
Jeff
Give
is
a
his
lizard.
own person.
Give
She
it
said
to Jeff. Jeff makes his own goddamn decisions.
Yes.
I've seen Jeff in action in the past.
He showers. Like, he makes his own decisions.
So let me get this straight. You want me to take the stone to the lizard?
Yes.
Yes.
The lizard person,
That wears
Jeff.
clothes.
The lizard person, Jeff. Yes.
And he talks like this.
Furiously scribbles
Exactly like that.
scribbles a
Okay,
note
put-
down.
Cal, put the stone to your ear, and he talks in it, so he understands what it is.
Witchcraft. No.
It's a cell phone. Ever heard of one? Cal?
Demon throws it in the river.
And it's gone.
We deserve it.
We really do.
Yeah, we do.
So there goes that.
Cal,
Take the
this is-
eyeless head of Dag back with you and make a statement for everyone in the bend who crosses us.
We cook up flour and eat her.
I'm the new Iron Bender. He has a head and a stone.
Yeah.
It's just drunk with power.
Cal, no, Cal, focus.
Focus in.
At sunset in this location, wherever they popped up when I was there.
Outside the house, probably.
Yeah. Jeff, the lizard person mage,
Right?
in his clothes with his
Yeah.
weird voice, is
Right.
going to appear, and you're going to give him this stone and say that he should talk into it, and it's his pal Bianca.
Ask for Bianca.
Ask for Bianca.
Okay. Do I get the stone back when it's done?
No.
No.
You must leave it with Jeff.
Oh.
This is an important mission, Cal.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I can give you something right now. And he, underneath his shoulder pad, pops out like a circular little looking mushroom.
An eyeball.
It is a tasty treat.
Smells pretty good.
I would save
I'll
that
eat-
for when you're really, really hungry.
You can eat that and then not eat for a whole day.
That's right.
Okay. He somehow puts it behind his ear.
Better than in his pants.
Right down the crack.
All right, well, give me the stone and I'll make sure that it gets back to the lizard named Jeff.
Tonight.
Fast as we can go, right, Flower?
Mm-hmm.
We all see that Flower nods.
Flower's had a day. She's not real happy.
Oh yeah, poor girl. Same.
Okay, that's what's happening.
So
yeah, and then we're gonna get the fucking shit together and we're gonna go north.
So
the shortcut paved for us.
You're gonna take the blasted path through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as your group, Princess Margaret, Prince Bowden, 30 of their retainers and mostly soldiers travel with you. The lone dual-rammed driven cart of Cal Finnegan makes its way back towards the bend, and the entire way, I told you someday it would come through for us, Flower. I knew it. We were born under the right star. There was something, we have a mission, a destiny. And it's a rock. And as Cal goes out of sight and over a little hill, that's the last you see of him for now. We'll see how he does. But that's where we'll end this session of the Realms Remember. Yay, friends. Yeah, he died twice, basically. But
what a mess.
We were born under the right star.
Destiny's a rock.
Me and you, Flower.
You don't mind if I put on a little bit of the Killers, do you? Sorry, go ahead.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's go around and talk to everybody. Legion, you're absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for the help that you have given to our friends. And because of the tie, well, I think we had both Roberts and Ulfsic receive 3 renown. This renown, much similar to what Bianca received the evening before, is specifically with the Cormyrian party that is right here, since there's no other civilization to really garner a claim from, but it definitely would help even with interactions between that group. So everybody that has renown with the group, please keep that in mind. Anybody that does not have renown for the group, it's a nat 20 to try to get a bonus for anything. So yes, Sphinx, what are the chances this sends Cal off on a whirlwind adventure? Who knows? It took me 3.5 years to make it back to the bend. I'm a king now. Okay, so let's go around and talk to everybody. Let's go with Dawn. Dawn, my friend, how are you doing?
I'm great. This is a ton of fun. I like the encounter a lot. And I'm very interested to go on and see how. I feel like we're almost to the point where we're starting to learn some real things about what's going on behind the scenes in this campaign, and I can feel that coming, and I'm looking forward to that a lot. I'm online. You can follow me on Twitter. I publish, write adventure games, and stream, but not too much right now. I'm kind of on a hiatus besides Realms Remembered. Later in the month and next month, I'll be coming back and starting to stream a little bit more. But in the meantime, check out all these awesome people. They're amazing. I love getting to play with them every week, and thanks for having me.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Steve, how are you? Where can we find you, bud?
You can find me right here. Thank you. I had a blast. Thank you to everyone who donated, retweeted. Much appreciated. Thank you. I love great episode today. Thought it was awesome. Everybody was fantastic. You were fantastic, Greg. So catch me if you can, I guess. I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm here. So bye.
Sounds good, buddy. Summer, how are you, my friend, and where can we find you?
This episode had everything I hated and more.
Yes!
But I somehow still had fun the whole time. So what can you say? And me and Lauren are talking in chat, and we just said we hate all of our plans. They're all bad. Every plan we thought of was bad for various reasons, and there's no good plan. And
also, this is all Ironbender's fault.
It's fucking Ironbender's fault. Fuck
this is
that
his
guy.
fault.
This is his fucking fault, and I can't wait to punch him in the freaking head. He deserves it. So happy we killed Dag. Wow. So glad that we'll never have to see. I mean, maybe potentially we'll free Dag in the future, like the real Dag, and we'll be like, "Oh, I really don't like you because of
Still
things
don't like
that are
him.
beyond your control, but well, I can't help that. Whatever." Anyway, so I'm Summer. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That's where I tweet and retweet about everything that I've got going on. Obviously, you can find me here every Monday. You can find me on Off the Table on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We're starting. Watchmen is airing this Wednesday, right? So that is really fun if you like sassy girls getting into trouble or making friends, doing handstands. Yeah, at 6 o'clock, you can find me over on my friend Dylan's channel, Anarasis, here on Twitch. We're really playing games. So neither of us play video game. Not true, but neither of us consider ourselves gamers, and we're playing through a bunch of point and click adventure games. So it's really fun. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting and drinking and watching. So if you like to see me do that, go watch that in 20 minutes. It's super fun. I'm hypercritical. What can I say? Thanks, everybody.
If you're a fan of watching Summer drink.
That's right.
That's
Everybody is.
And just so you know, I am not going to de-trick Dag. He's dead. He's not. You're not going to see his face pop up.
Why would you even pull that into the world?
Lauren's face.
Why do you, your reaction, Lauren, is exactly why I just said that. Let's go over to Billy.
I mean, to be. Oh my god.
Billy, how are you doing, my friend? Where can we find you?
I'm doing good. You can find me at Bill of the Forest on various internet platforms. And you can party if you want to like DM me pictures of any sort of animals. I love documentaries and bears. If you want to see bears, I had a couple of beers. Sorry, y'all. I am getting off track. I had a great time tonight. Everybody here is super awesome. I had a really great time tonight. I feel like we made some fucking progress. And like, okay, you hated it. That's fine, but it's still progress. You can find me Wednesdays coming up here. We're doing a little Witcher thingamadoo, which is going to be super dope. Greg's game master in that, and it's really in depth, y'all. It's nuts. And then on Tuesday nights here coming up, I'll be on WebDM for a little Simba Room game, which is going to be super dark and super awesome. And Greg and I have a little magic cooked up for you there. And then every other hour of the week, I'm working and being sad that I'm not here playing with you all for Legion. Thank you so much for your support and your positive influence in the campaign, and everybody watching on VOD. This is a fucking stellar crew. Get your shit together and watch us. That one was for all the people who aren't watching us, who are never gonna hear that. Fuck. All right, I'm done.
Oh, Billy, I love you, buddy. And finally, last but certainly not least, Lauren, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you?
I don't know. I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger on Twitter. I am here sometimes on Mondays and maybe Wednesdays. I don't know. I'm have salty sweet games with my best friend Kiana, and we start playing games. We've got a Witcher game where fuck lore, just drama, and all ladies. And then we have some Pulp Cthulhu coming up, and both of those are happening in February. That's it. I'm leaving now.
Fantastic, my friends. As for me, I am Greg Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team on the Twitch. Here on the channel, coming up in just a few short minutes, we have Jim, Other Doc, continues our Deadlands campaign for some Road to Desperation. We have a special guest tonight. Special guest coming in tonight. I'm not going to ruin it because I don't think Jim told everybody yet, but I know that Lauren knows, but we're going to have fun, a lot of fun tonight. On Wednesday at 6, we have the beginning of our Watchmen campaign, which is powered by Forged in the Dark, the Blades in the Dark system by John Harper. And then at 8 o'clock, we have the second part of our May Black Roses Bloom epilogue and the final segment of the story of May Black Roses Bloom. It is over a year. This will be the 41st episode, I believe, when it all goes in. And so this is the 41st and last. And I can tell you right now, the title is Winter's Night. And so join us for the final tell around the campfire. But then when we come back around the horn, as Billy said, we've got Witcher coming up. We have a Bioshock-inspired Cthulhu game coming Friday afternoons in February. I can't wait. With an announcement coming up on that one soon. We have Katie, who is running currently a Monsters of the Week. Summer guest starred last Friday. It's super fun. Great group of new friends on that one. But as Billy said, if you're watching, join us. Look, the link below, whether you're at YouTube, the VOD, or live on Twitch, to our Discord channel. Please join us. Just grab hold of the area, come into it, and talk about some sci-fi, talk about some comics, talk about TTRPGs, whatever you would like, but join a community. It is great. There are fabulous ones and Off the Table and Salty Sweet Games all over the place. We are a large community, and it's filled with kind people, so make sure you invest in that. It can only make your 2020 better. But as the campfire goes down, there is only one thing left to say. Can't always roll nat 20s, my friend. You can always role play. I almost made it. I'm almost back to the bend. What's that, trouble?